Hi Blanca, hi Caddy. I'm gonna do the recording on the soundtrack of my life and just do an explanation like Caddy did, which was pretty fun. So hopefully, you know, give you some stories and some background. And so let's start with the first song, The Beautiful Day. So I chose that and I put that one first because like the whole family loves that song, and Patty and Sammy and especially Carlina. Ever since Carlina was born, we've been playing that song. Um, One of the things when they were born is like, it just came to mind was like, oh, I gotta only play like things that are positive, complainers or everybody hates me or I'm not loved or I broke up or whatever. I didn't think, those songs, um, so part of one of the reasons, for example, that I don't listen to like Pope that much anymore, because the lyrics are kind of like that. So, anyways, so Beautiful Day. Yeah, everybody loves it. And then, there's that beat, that tum, 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 tum. I don't know, that beat, like Paul Oakenfold got me into that beat. I've never been able to find, like that mix that I would hear and play all the time. I looked for it, but I was never able to find it. He mixed the song really good. It was just really awesome, and the lyrics are really awesome. It's like that. No matter what, no matter how poetically you describe this day of bad, it's really just a beautiful day. So next song is Frankly Mr. Shankly. That one is, I love that song because it's very clever. It has all these clever lines in it. And the main thing is that it talks about you leaving your job and saying, I don't need this. I can do better. And I always thought that was an awesome thing, an awesome things to describe. Unfortunately, I didn't really put it into practice in my life. I didn't really live it, but I thought it was just cool, to say, I don't need this. I can do better. So the third song is Live Forever. Live Forever, I like that song since it released. I would hear it here and there, I think in like clubs and stuff, and I thought it was really awesome. And just the way he sang it, he sang it with like such passion. And the whole chorus, I'm gonna live forever. And so that stuck to me, and I never really got into Oasis until like 19, no, actually it was 2000, and we went to a concert, and it was like a small concert in Berkeley, and I thought, yeah, they're probably not gonna play that hard, they're gonna think this venue is too small for them, because they were pretty arrogant at that time, and so, but they actually played like really good, and ever since I started listening to them a little bit more. But this, it has a powerful message, just to, just to think that you can live forever, that you have this within you, and it's just, even just the thought, it's like a really powerful thought. So the fourth song is We'll Let You Know by Morrissey. So I think, as I said in my message, a lot of these long songs are live, because to me, the experience has been that if I see it live and it's not well performed, then I don't like it. I used to be a huge New Order fan when I was a kid, and then I saw them live, and it was like one of the biggest disappointments in musically. And I stopped listening to them after that. There's various bands that I thought the same. you know, that they can play, or they have like really good studio albums, but once they go out and play, they can't do it. Most of the bands today seem that way, anyways. And so I thought of that because I put this song that it's live. I kind of like the studio version of this song a little better, but I don't know. This is pretty good too, and we'll let you know. Is like we talked about. It's about this, this message of, being yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't worry about the image. And that's one of the things that, ever since high school, or actually, high school and college, it carried me. It was one of those messages that I always liked. Just be yourself. Don't try and copy everybody else. There was kind of like a little bit of that when where we wanted to be like some other people, but it wasn't that much. There was all these other people that kind of made that their life, and they made that their career. They made that kind of just trying to please everybody, and so I'm glad that was one of the things. And this song expresses that really well. The fifth song is "Dare You to Move" by Switchfoot. That song, it reminds me of Patty, and like getting her to know her, and it was one of the first bands that she introduced me to that I liked, and I really like this song, because it implies like action. If you don't like something, do something about it, and it's really something that I'm not really used to. It's something that it's really not part of the nature. I like to, I went to college. I went and did the things that I was supposed to, but at the same time, kind of like take it a step higher, or be the best that I can be at something. It was a little bit more hard for me. It almost seems like there was like a fear of like trying to show off or something, but there's this song is just like just change it. There's things that you can do, and moved, and it was great. So number 6 is back to the Smiths and "The Boy with a Thorn in His Side." So it was like I remember it's a Saturday morning when I was doing this, and I was kind of like, which song should I put, and this song came to mind, and I was like, why this song, and at the time there was the protest, going on, and then this song reminds me of 1992, also back in the the protests that we had here in LA. I don't know if you guys remember that there was huge riots too. It was similar to what just happened, related to Rodney King. And so I had just seen the YouTube footage of the things going on here, and yeah, this song kind of encapsulates everything. It reminds me that there's people always looking for love, looking for appreciation, and we're just hard to judge them. Back in the day, and now I'm sure that people are saying there's those idiots rioting, and those savages, sorry, and etc., etc. But to me at the time, I was like, man, these guys are like the oppressed people, and they have a right to to riot. They have a right to do this, you know, and they're just looking at it's just an expression of searching for love, you know. And so I think that's the reason that why this song came up, and that's why I decided to. And you know, the 1992 riots reminds me of also Ramon's brother. He went rioting back in 1992, and he went inside Bullock. They went inside Bullock's, and they, you know, they got some merchandise. So they gave me 2 ties. I got a Hugo Boss and you know, Bullock's brand tie. But the Hugo Boss, I think at that time, yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I went and I saw it. It was worth like $400, and it was just like this super soft tie. And you know, it's a tie that I wore to when I graduated from high school. I think Israel borrowed it too, and when he graduated, he wore it, and he borrowed it for something else, and I don't remember. So I thought that was, you know, I mean, if like my aunt found out or something, she would be like up in the air, you know, oh, you know. But to me, it was like, you know, you know, these people actually have no right. They have no right to remember me, but they, you know, they remember me, and they said, yeah, here, give it to him. And I don't know where they thought that, you know. I mean, honestly, if I would have done something like that, I don't know if I would have thought, here, give them to Ramon's brother, but they did. So I thought that was really cool. You know, that was really kind. That was, you know, something. You know, it was pretty awesome. You know, and I told the story to like my friends, and they knew, and you know, and I thought, you know, they were kind of gonna criticize too, but no, they also, you know, thought it was awesome. You know, but you know, it's a cool story. So number 7. The Chemical Brothers, Out of Control. So, you know, I wanted to include something regarding my electronica phase, and you know, because it was a good 2 or 3 years, you know, where we were listening to this kind of music and DJs, and so you know, this is the best song that I thought, you know, because you know, it's about like protests again, and you know, it's about, you know, let's not be comfortable with what we have, and you know, we need to ask for the things that we really deserve, and let the system stop oppressing us. And I also like the way you know, Bernard Summers, he's from The Order, sings it. I think he, you know, nowadays he's probably one of the you know, I said earlier that he was one of my favorite. The Order is one of my favorite bands, but you know, now I listen to it, and I like some of those things, but particularly the older things. But one of the things that I have a problem is, you know, especially his voice live, but I think he sings his songs really well. So it encapsulates a little bit of the Order. So number 8, Enjoy the Silence. So Enjoy the Silence, there's just story after story after story after story regarding Enjoy the Silence. I guess one of the main things I should mention is, like, you know, this is I think the very first tape that I bought, which was Depeche Mode by Alayra, and it had this song, and I would listen to the song all the time. And you know, it's a phase where Depeche Mode was huge here. I remember I was in junior high when the Depeche Mode 101 concert happened, and it was like the next day. Practically, you know, no exaggeration, like 30% of the school was wearing a Depeche Mode 101 shirt. And also, when the Smiths were in the Shrine, I think it was the Shrine Auditorium here, and you know, there were a bunch of people wearing the Smiths, so I remember those. But so the point is that they were huge at that time. And this song also, it's, and I like the fact that it says all I ever needed is here in my life. And come 2020, that's one of the things that I'm trying to practice. One of the slogans that um, you know Abraham Hicks and Wesley Burgeon say is like, all I need is within me now. All I need is within me now. And so that line, all I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my life, is the same thing. Too bad it's taking me like 30 years, because that song was released like 30 years ago, to actually put it to practice. So, number 10, we talked a lot about the Elvis thing, and again, it was kind of like I was doing it in that Saturday morning, and that kind of came to mind. I think you guys thought about it like a lot more than I did. It was more like, okay, let me think about it now for like an hour or so, and then that's where I did it. If I was thinking about it the other day, if I were to do it again, I would probably replace that song with the song that I just rediscovered, which was the Form, All Together Now. And there's a funny story regarding that too, because I confused it with the Primal Scream, Come Together, and I thought it was the same song, and I'm like, I can't find this version of Come Together that where they keep singing all together now, all together now, in no one's land. So anyways, so I just I was telling Kari and Armando, because we had we have our song for the day, just for fun. And on this July 4th, I was thinking, why do I not like to celebrate July 4th? And that song came to mind, and that song talks about no borders, everybody together, and why are we fighting over nothing? And it's all political things. It's all things to make people distracted and say, oh, US is the best, Mexico is the best. And when all these people that are saying it, and at the top, they're trying to encourage that, and they don't really have your best interest. So, but that I still like the way Elvis sings that the song. I think his voice is pretty awesome, and the whole story about him and Priscilla and everything we were talking about, I thought that was pretty cool. So number 10, the Smiths, London. So this one I already talked to Kari about before. This reminds me of living the day I left Hermosillo to come here to Glendale, and it encapsulates all the feelings really well. Just me coming to this new place and not really knowing what I was doing. I was 10, but at the same time I was kind of excited, but I was like, deep inside I was afraid. And then I remember my mom, being super sad. I still remember that to this day, and it's kind of like very touching how she was trying to be strong, but at the same time you could tell that she was a little bit destroyed, I don't know if that's the best word, but a little bit disturbed, sorry, I guess. A little bit, yeah, disturbed is the best word. And it's just, it had to do with the fact that I was so young, and just going into this whole new situation, and expecting the best, and at the same time I did kind of have big dreams, and the big dreams did come with a career, and that did manifest itself, thank God. But I think there is something that I am lacking, which which is the whole experience that I was talking about of Morrissey, him saying that he wanted to be the best in the world. And so to me, I kind of set, I did set my level kind of low, which was, oh, I'm gonna come here for career. I should have come here for, you know, like higher things or greater things. So number 11, What a Feeling by Irene, Cara. So that one I remember from when I was a kid, and I remember the lyrics, you know, and the whole thing of believing, you know, believe. And I remember that from a kid, you know, from when I was young. You would hear it on the radio and stuff, and I thought it was cool. So now, you know, the last 2 years, you know, I've been looking for positive songs and things that have with a positive message. And I came across this, and I started to listen to it often. And I still think I still like it a lot. Obviously I like it a lot. I mean, I like the message that you know, you can, if you believe, you can do anything, and you can accomplish anything. It just it's kind of like a process, you know. What a feeling, being believing, I could have it all. Now I'm dancing for my life. I just think that's great, you know, and it's just to have that mentality. So song number 12, Used to Be a Sweet Boy, Morrissey. That one, you know, that one is just me. Everybody said it, you know. Everybody that knew the song said it was me, and I agree, you know. Everything was like lyrically, it's, you know, this little boy, you know. So I remember when I first came here and I started going to church, you know, I would go to church in a suit and a tie, and I don't know, I think I just did that because I did, and, you know, because when I moved here, my mom, I'm pretty sure, bought me a suit to come here, and so I would wear that to church. And, you know, people started calling me Pastorcito, and I thought that was kind of, I don't know, I thought it was cool. I didn't really, people were like, ha ha ha, and I was like, whatever, you know. And I thought it was pretty cool that I didn't really care. And then, you know, they kind of really stopped because it didn't bother me. And I think if it would have bothered me, they would have kept going. But, you know, even like Israel knew about that, and they all knew about it, and they still remember to this day. And, you know, they just knew it was me. You know, they you know, even like say we're 20 years old, we're talking about that, and they would still say, yeah, that's you, you know. And so that image of used to be a sweet boy and holding so tightly to daddy's hand, you know, that was me. And then, you know, for a while I kind of deviated from that image, and, you know, started doing my own things, and, you know, started to get a little bit wild and stuff. And so that described it perfectly. And, you know, all in that, you know, the best thing out of that, you know, like they say, you know, the best thing out of those experiences is if you awaken from them. And I did awaken, you know, it took kind of a lot in a sense, but not as much as maybe other people, but still, I probably should awaken earlier. You know, I had my chances, you know. I remember when I moved to Sacramento, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm getting away from my friends. It's gonna give me my chance to awaken, and it didn't happen. Came back and started going back at the same thing. And finally, you know, this what is it, the nervous breakdown that I had, and finally awakened me and said, I need to change my life. And so all the people that we see is like that are these teachers. They say if the experience is great if it causes you an awakening, and that experience was great because it caused an awakening. So number 13, totally transformed. So there's a story behind this. So we went to a Jana concert, Jana Alayra, who's an artist, and at the concert she makes people come up and do the motions for the song, and it's by groups. So this is the very first concert I went to, and she called the dads up, so all the dads had to go up, and it was this song, and it's about change, becoming somebody different, and not wanting to do the same thing that you've been doing over and over. And I took that to heart, really, because they called me up about it, and I went up, and it was this song. I mean, it could have been any other song. And that's part of what I'm trying to embrace is change for the better, change for improvement, change for liberation from the 8-hour work, change from the overthinking, change from thinking too little, or change for putting limitations on yourself, or Number 14, Viva la Vida. So this is similar to the first song. The whole family likes this song, and then again it has that beat to tum 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 tum. That is just amazing. But also, the lyrics are really awesome. Because it's kind of like we're trying to be better. We're trying to gain more money. We're trying to be what is it called? Have financial freedom, right? But at the same time, you can take this too far, just like the person in the story from Viva la Vida, he took it too far, he wanted to just be the best, and he oppressed people, and he made them follow them, and he did all these nasty things to them, right? And in the end, for what? All this power and nothing, and for what? And I thought it was kind of funny that he uses the Catholic reference of Peter going to heaven, asking if he's gonna let him into heaven or not. So I thought it was pretty cool. And yeah, really, because all of these things, you want to have desire to have more money and everything, but there has to be like a greater purpose, an awesome purpose to it, because it's just to have money and be powerful and be known and have the best shoes and have the best cars and hey, look at me. You're wasting your time, But if it's gonna give you, like a better sense of life, is gonna give you, joy, and more time with the kids, more time with the family, is gonna break those barriers of work. Just men telling you do this and you do that, and take your lunch here, go to the bathroom here, and but if that's good. But if it's just for self-image, so you have to have the right reasons. Number 15, where the streets have no name. So, and I was thinking about it later. I put all these songs that are, are pretty popular. When earlier in my life, I tried to kind of shy away from these songs, and because too many people like it, but to me it's like, who cares, they're good, and that, I changed on that. And we had this thing of like, oh, I'm the first one that discovered this, and I'm the first one that discovered this other group, and I don't know, that was for when we're younger, but so I overcame that. And I put this song, because it references 9/11. 9/11, it was just a big part of our lives, I remember the day exactly, and I remember living in San Francisco, and just completely changing the culture of that city. It was just one little event that has such a great impact, and so U2 is playing tribute using this song, Where the Streets Have No Name, which reference to heaven, or this better place on earth where we don't hate each other, we're at peace with everybody, and then you're not too fat, you're not black, you're not whatever, we're just we're just chill, we're just at peace. And so it's awesome, especially in reference to 9/11, because in a sense, we created that because we were, making the people, the terrorists mad. And, it was just astonishing in the event. So, number 16, the Smashing Pumpkins, Tonight Tonight. That one, I just love the music, the mix of the guitar with the orchestra. I just think it's just awesome. And I, to be honest, I never really like the Smashing Pumpkins when I was, when they were out, when the first album was out, I guess, which was huge. It was huge. It was all over they would play it every hour on the radio. But when this song came out, I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. And I guess I don't really, because the other day I was after I did this, the soundtrack, I was watching an acoustic performance, and he was talking about the lyrics, and Billy Corgan said something like, the song doesn't mean what you think it means, so. But it doesn't matter. So what I'm trying to say is maybe I don't really know exactly the interpretation. I kind of thought about it, but I'll go with my interpretation, which is like, self-empowerment. Like, believe in me, I can do it, and believe in yourself, and there's all these things going on, and it could be bad or good, but just believe. Finally, number 17, You Got Everything Now. So the reason I put that, it's mainly because of the video, right? And I don't know if you guys have seen the video of it, of this, this particular live version. It's the last song, and the people start going on stage, and there's this girl that's dancing all weird, and it reminded me of Lincoln. He used to dance like that, and we used to make fun of it, and we thought it was like the funniest thing. But thinking about it, I mean, man, this girl is like super awesome. She just goes up there and starts singing in front of the camera and doesn't care, and that's like that's like the Smiths fans, that's what the Smiths stands for, and Morrissey, it's like you do your own thing, you don't care about what other people say. And then the way they embraced him at the end, and he just keeps, and the best thing is that he just keeps singing, and he tries to keep singing, and they're still tackling down, and he's singing, and he's resilient. I thought that was really awesome, though. If you think about the lyrics too, the lyrics is pretty cool because it's kind of like a comparison of this person that is kind of like following things or doing things because he's supposed to, and this is the way to do it. It's kind of like a robotic life versus the other one who's just kind of did what he pleased, and he was happy with that way, and that's also awesome, because like to kind of be like separate from this mainstream of people that I gotta do this, I gotta be on Facebook, I gotta be on, I need my phone to do this, I need to do this, and I need to dress this way. And I thought it was awesome that I always separate myself from that, I always wanted to, or especially when younger, I always wanted to dress a certain way, but it was like, I mean nice, but it was different than everybody. It was, there was a sense of uniqueness, and that sense of uniqueness, a lot of this music kind of brought that out on me, and that's what's awesome about it. And that's it. One of the things that I wanted to talk about also, that was pretty powerful was like K-Rock. K-Rock was like from 1989 to like 1992, it just supplied all the music that I listened to. So it was pretty awesome because I didn't really need to buy records because everything was on K-Rock, it was good music. And then, there was this period of 1990 that just song after song after song that appealed to me were coming out, and and so I don't know. I thought that was a nice thing about having a good radio station. And then after a while it changed, and then we didn't like it, so we stopped listening to it. And yeah, and then I had Israel, who basically had everything, and so he was just kind enough to anything I would ask him for, he would let me borrow it, I remember one of the last things that I asked him is like, can you give me every single song of Saint Etienne and put it, because after a while he had transferred all his music digitally, so it was easy, and he gave me every single song of Saint Etienne. And that was pretty cool. And so yeah, it was great. I think it's good that we have these memories, but at the same time, it's good to move forward. It's good to reinvent ourselves. And because I read some of these comments online, and people are stuck. They're like, they're still thinking like back then, and they're like, oh, I wish it was that, or nostalgia is cool, but it can't take over you. You change, and hopefully for the better, and you have to embrace that. You can't say, oh, when I was 16 it was like the best time of music. Yeah, maybe it was, but now it's that, now it's now. And you gotta love your life now, because for now I have the Carolina and Sammy, and if I start focusing on the nostalgia of that, then I'm gonna miss that, and then I'm gonna be on the nostalgia of when they were kids and they're already teenagers, and then the nostalgia when they were teenagers, and so on. So we gotta live the now, live the present. But at the same time, we do have to change our lives, because like I said, we lack this Morrissey motivation of being the greatest, I just say Morrissey, but a lot of people have it. But I'm just saying Morrissey, and it's good to want to better ourselves. It's good to want to be better, and so. But yeah, thanks Blanca for the idea. I think it was good to kind of reestablish that link even musically among us three, and it was fun. I got to relearn things or learn some new things from you guys. All right.